Right now on NBC 10 News at 5, a wet week ahead. The NBC 10 First Alert Weather Team shows us why it'll be hard to escape the rain.
Plus, gone to waste. The new report reveals 2 major pharmacy chains are responsible for wasting more than 180,000 doses of the vaccine.
And India, in crisis, a deadly surge on the other side of the world has local families reaching out to help.
NBC 10 News starts now.
Our top story, though, at 5 o'clock, no limits. In a matter of weeks, people in New Jersey are going to get one step closer to the life they knew before the pandemic. Thanks for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Jim Rosenfield.
And I'm Tracy Davidson. New Jersey's governor made the announcement just hours ago. Starting May 19th, the state will remove the limit on outdoor gatherings. No more capacity limit for restaurants, gyms, and many other businesses as well. But in all cases, people still have to stay 6 feet apart and follow all rules for wearing masks.
And while our COVID numbers are going down, there is one thing we can do above all else to ensure that these numbers keep going down, especially as we reopen further, and that is to get vaccinated. Every single activity that we just discussed is substantially safer if you are vaccinated than if you are unvaccinated.
But this step forward doesn't solve another problem businesses are having.
Yeah, they want to know, where are the workers? NBC 10 Jersey Shore Bureau reporter Ted Greenberg has more.
Traffic lights in North Wildwood switched today from off-season flashing mode to their regular cycle, a sure sign of what's to come.
Memorial Day's almost here.
With the unofficial start of summer now just 4 weeks away, Governor Murphy today announcing New Jersey is eliminating capacity limits at most businesses on May 19th, as long as social distancing measures are maintained.
These are the most aggressive steps we have taken to reopen to date, and we feel confident that we can do this safely because our numbers have trended decisively in the right direction over the past 3 weeks.
We'll take the announcement from the governor.
The move encouraging for Maury's Piers in the Wildwoods, where test runs for rides are underway ahead of this year's opening day on Saturday. But with all signs pointing to a booming summer season, Maury's still faces a serious staffing shortage.
For the season, we have 1,500 positions. We have about 400 of them filled.
Maury's today launching a social media campaign advertising how its starting wage is now $15 an hour, up from $12. Many Jersey Shore businesses, large and small, are struggling to fill positions.
Even though I'm willing to pay the $15 and the $20 an hour, but it's difficult to find help.
Casino Pier in Seaside Heights also hiking hourly wages for some jobs to try to entice more applicants.
We're looking everywhere for employees. We're just hoping that when it comes to the midst of the summer, we're going to get an influx of more.
Maybe get some people who are collecting unemployment at home back to the workforce.
So will those higher wages end up costing you more? The folks with both Maury's and Casino Pier tell me at this point, there are no plans to raise ticket prices. In Wildwood, I'm Ted Greenberg, NBC 10 News.
Staying in New Jersey now, the governor announced more big changes for bars and beer lovers today. Starting this Friday, people can once again sit at the bar inside as long as there's still space 6 feet apart. And if you're in one of those bars, you can get a free drink if you're vaccinated. It's all part of New Jersey's Shot and a Beer program. The campaign's encouraging people who are 21 and over to receive their vaccination. If you get your shot during May, you can take your vaccination card to a participating brewery and you'll get beer on the house.
Ooh. Turning now to your NBC 10 First Alert weather. Get ready for a lot of wet weather this week. Gardens are getting a lot of rain this week. NBC 10 radar shows us the next batch of rain could hit your neighborhood later tonight. Let's find out exactly when. First Alert meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz is here with us. Glenn?
Yeah, Tracy, we got some showers during the day today, generally on the lighter side, but we've got a threat of heavier stuff coming in this evening. Could affect the Phillies game and any outdoor plans you have. It's 69 degrees in Philadelphia now. We just got up to 70 today, but that's exactly average for this time of the year. It's only 60 in Atlantic City with wind off the ocean and a lot of clouds around the rest of the area as well. Parts of Delaware got into the 80s during the day today. And we have some showers coming through southern Delaware toward Cape May. Other showers have moved through the Philadelphia area. There's more on the way. As you can see, it's not all that well organized, but some of that is on the heavier side that's going to be coming around here in the next couple of hours. So you got to be prepared for that. We're not just talking about some scattered light showers, as you can see on the radar. And then tomorrow, things do dry out. Right now, we are in the low 60s, ranging to the low 70s. Well, like I said, Georgetown was more than 10 degrees warmer than that a couple hours ago. And look at the threat during the night tonight. Showers, even thunderstorms. It's not going to be especially chilly. We do have much colder weather along with more rain, and I'll tell you all about that in a few minutes.
All right, Glenn, we'll check back with you real soon. Overseas now, while states across the U.S. are announcing more reopenings by the day, very different reality unfolding now in India. For the 12th day in a row, India's recorded more than 300,000 new cases of the coronavirus, and experts believe those numbers could actually be much higher. This crisis is already touching people here at home as well, from losing loved ones to also hurting their bottom line. NBC 10's Brandon Hudson explains how this surge in India could trickle down to you.
The images show chaos. People in India fighting for their lives against a new, more deadly wave of COVID-19. Hospital beds and gurneys occupied with people on oxygen. Family members carrying their loved ones down streets in open-air crematoriums. In the U.S., temples are full of prayers.
Knowing that you can't be over there in India to help some of your relatives out, what is that feeling like?
It's stuff that, you can't help out.
Manzil Panchal, pharmacy manager at East Norton Pharmacy, has extended family in India. Recently, he lost 2 relatives in 1 week.
I was just speaking to my cousin today in the morning. Oxygen is hard to get. Forget about oxygen, even empty tanks are hard to get to fill up the oxygen.
A CNBC report estimates India supplies about half of America's generic prescription drugs. Manzil says his pharmacy gets 70% of his generics from India.
So far we don't have a trouble here, but if they have a shortage over there, we might gonna see shortage over here too in future. We should stock up our pile too, just to be safe, fight for the future.
While Manzil can't travel to India, he's working with Indian organizations in the States to send care packages. Other American corporations are sending aid too. President Biden, who authorized a travel ban to India, says the U.S. will send supplies to boost India's vaccination efforts. Dr. Ayla Stanford applauds the move.
It's just so much loss and really a tragedy. I was encouraged to hear President Biden helping in any way with vaccine.
America reaching out its helping hand halfway around the world. Brandon Hudson, NBC 10 News.
A new report found CVS and Walgreens have wasted more vaccine doses than states, U.S. territories, and federal agencies combined. That's according to government data obtained by Kaiser Health News. The data showed as of late March, the CDC recorded at least 182,000 wasted vaccine doses between the 2 pharmacy giants. Most of the doses were tossed during the early days and weeks of the rollout. As a whole, pharmacies accounted for nearly 75% of wasted vaccines. According to Kaiser Health News, the data is not clear on why those doses were discarded.
There's a new push to get young people in Philadelphia vaccinated now. The Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium is behind the campaign. It's called Vaccinate Before You Graduate, and the goal is to target kids 16 and older to get their shots. The group's encouraging the class of 2021 to get their doses within the first 2 weeks of May to be fully vaccinated before graduation.
I think it's important because, CDC is recommending it and it keeps everyone around us safe. The goal is to obviously get everyone vaccinated so we can end this pandemic as quickly as possible.
Students who come to the vaccination site will get small gifts and prizes, too. You do not have to make an appointment for the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium vaccine events.
Family and friends said their final goodbye today. To a man who was shot and killed by police in North Carolina. Funeral services were held for Andrew Brown Jr. at a church in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, to say their goodbyes. The 42-year-old was shot and killed by deputies almost 2 weeks ago as they tried to serve a drug-related search warrant. He was unarmed. Prosecutors say the deputies were threatened. Over the weekend, peaceful protests broke out in that city. Protesters demanding the release of all police video involved in the shooting death. Calls for justice continued today at Brown's funeral.
We're going to stand up for what we believe to be right. We're going to stand up for justice. We're going to stand up for Andrew Brown. We're going to stand up for his memory. We're going to stand up because we want to be free.
A judge allowed Brown's family to view about 20 seconds of the police body cam footage last week and says they'll see more in the coming days.
The Biden administration says it's reuniting families who were separated at the border, and this is just the beginning of a larger effort. Today, the White House said 4 families that were separated under the Trump administration will come together in the U.S. this week. The families include children who were at least 3 years old at the time, along with several teenagers. Officials say there is more to come, and they will be working to unite the children with their parents in the weeks and months ahead. During the Trump administration, more than 5,500 children were separated from their parents. Many of them were affected by the zero-tolerance policy to prosecute any adult who entered the country illegally. Officials believe more than 1,000 families are still separated. Cars, trucks, vans, even a dryer. The highways we drive on every day are littered with dangerous debris. Next, the NBC 10 investigators show us how the problem is worse than ever. And coming up at 5:30, who should have the power? How voters will soon weigh in on the governor's ability to declare an emergency in Pennsylvania.
Plus, still waiting on your 2019 tax return? NBC 10 Responds learns about a delay the IRS says is impacting millions of taxpayers. We'll explain the problem and how you can get help at 5:55.
NBC 10 celebrates Asian Pacific American Heritage Month.
If you rank midsize SUVs by lowest maintenance cost, the Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport are number 1 and 2. Now's the time to sign then drive. Lease a new Atlas Cross Sport for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing, or get 0% APR financing for 72 months.
It's Window Nation's Talking Windows with Harley and Aaron.
The talk show about windows. If there's one thing we hate at Window Nation, it's high-pressure sales. Isn't that right, Aaron?
Yeah. Having a sales rep at your house can feel a little something like
556 whatever 65 75 whatever.
No one likes that sort of pressure.
At Window Nation, we give you pricing options that meet your needs, so you don't have to compete for the best deal.
Now take 50% off all windows. Window Nation, the perfect fit.